crayons are disappearing, one by one. But who or what is behind it?
Time to solve a mystery. The Explorer's Way.
Ruby's Toddler Tales.
It was a bright and breezy morning at Maplewood Elementary School. Birds chirped outside the windows, backpacks bounced in the hallway, and the air smelled like freshly sharpened pencils mixed with hints of apples and crayons. In Class 2B, Lila sat at her desk, grinning from ear to ear. It was her favorite time of day. Art time. She pulled out her crayon box, the special one with 24 bright colors, all neatly lined up like candy in a row. The reds and pinks glowed like gumdrops. The blues and greens shimmered like the sky after rain. She loved red for roses, orange for sunsets, and purple for magical unicorn tails. But today, something was wrong. She flipped open the lid and gasped. Red was gone. Lila blinked, then she blinked again. Her heart gave a curious thump. "That's strange," she mumbled. "It was here yesterday." She peeked under her desk, brushing her fingers across the smooth tile floor. She checked her pencil pouch, shaking it gently in case anything was hiding in a corner. She even looked inside her hoodie pocket, where lint and a button lived. Nothing. The next day, when she wanted to draw a silly orange cat, orange was missing too. Then blue disappeared the day after that, her favorite sky blue, the one she used for waves and balloon strings. By Friday, only 18 crayons were left. Lila sat up straighter in her chair, her brows furrowed with determination. "Okay," Lila said, narrowing her eyes. "This is no accident."
Time to solve a mystery. The Explorer's Way.
At recess, Lila called an emergency meeting behind the big red slide. The air was warm and carried the scent of grass and lunchbox grapes. Her two best friends rushed over. Zane, who always carried strange but tasty snacks. Today, it was pickle-flavored popcorn. And Mira, who wore purple glasses and had a magnifying glass just in case, tucked into her jacket like a secret badge. Lila leaned in close and whispered, "It's time to activate the Little Explorers Club." Zane gasped, "A real mystery?" "Snacktastic." Mira's eyes sparkled behind her glasses. "What's the case?" "Someone, or something, is stealing my crayons," Lila said. "And we're going to catch them." Zane pulled out his tiny green notebook and scribbled, "Case file number 7, the case of the vanishing crayons." Their first stop? The art room. It was quiet, except for the drip-drip of watercolor brushes in rinse jars. The smell of paint and glue filled the air. Paper scraps fluttered gently on the floor like colorful leaves. Mira inspected the tables with the precision of a scientist. Zane peeked behind the easels, munching on a cracker. Lila spotted something near the windowsill, tiny scribbles in red and orange. And on the floor, a crayon wrapper with teeny tiny bite marks. Mira held it up. "Tooth marks," she said. Zane leaned closer. "Definitely not human, unless someone's eating crayons." "You!" Lila giggled, then said, "Let's keep going. We need more clues." Next stop, the school lockers. Creak, slam, creak, slam. Metallic echoes filled the hallway as they opened locker after locker, until they reached Sammy's. Inside was a giant pile of broken crayons, pieces of every color, red stubs, melted green blobs, twisted yellows. "Aha," said Zane. But Sammy just grinned. "Nah, I collect broken crayons. I melt them into new ones. I made a dolphin last week. Want to see?" He pulled out a swirly blue dolphin crayon from his pencil case. It sparkled slightly under the hallway light. The explorers blinked in surprise. "That's actually pretty cool," said Mira, adjusting her glasses. "He's weird," whispered Lila with a smile, "but not a thief." They thanked Sammy and crossed his name off the suspect list. Later, the team sat under the big playground tree, munching crackers and grapes. The breeze tickled their cheeks, and a ladybug crawled across Lila's shoe. Zane was sipping his second juice box when he froze mid-sip. "Guys, look at the tree!" All three leaned in. On the bark were colorful scribbles, loops and zigzags in red, orange, blue, purple, even gold. They glowed in the afternoon sun like treasure maps. "My missing crayons," said Lila. Just then, something rustled above. A bushy tail flicked down from a nearby branch. It darted through the leaves, paused for 1 second, and it was holding a crayon. A purple one. "It's a squirrel!" Zane shouted. "A crayon-stealing squirrel!" The next day, they planned a squirrel stakeout. They brought binoculars, sunflower seeds, and a small bag of extra crayons. Mira even brought a clipboard to take notes. They sat at the base of the tree, pretending to read books. But they were really watching. Waiting. A bird chirped above them, and the leaves whispered in the breeze. Sure enough, the squirrel returned. He scampered down from a high branch, sniffed the crayon bag, and grabbed a green one. Then, zip! He dashed back up into the tree, into a hollow branch. "Follow him," Lila whispered. They climbed carefully, one by one, gripping the rough bark and bracing their feet. And there, hidden in the hollow, they saw something amazing. A tiny squirrel studio. Leaves lined the floor like a cozy rug. Crayons were tucked into bark shelves like paintbrushes in jars. And all over the inside, swirls, dots, zigzags, and stars filled the walls. Swirls of orange, dots of red, lines of blue. Even tiny trees and funny faces were scribbled among the patterns. The squirrel peeked out at them, blinking. Then he smiled. "He's not just stealing," Mira whispered. "He's an artist," said Lila, eyes wide. That afternoon, they rushed to tell Ms. Green, the art teacher. At first, Ms. Green looked confused. She raised one eyebrow. Then she laughed and clapped her hands. "A squirrel artist? I've never heard of such a thing." They brought her to the tree and showed her the squirrel's secret gallery. The sun filtered through the leaves, making the crayon art glow like stained glass. Ms. Green's mouth dropped open. "This," she said, "is something very special." The next day, the whole class came out to see the tree. Ms. Green called it the Squirrel Gallery. Everyone pointed and giggled at the crayon drawings. Some kids brought old crayons from home, tossing them gently at the base of the tree like squirrel offerings. Zane taped a sign to the tree. "Dear Squirrel, please take only 1 crayon a day. Restocks every Friday. Happy drawing." Lila placed her special crayon box at the base of the tree. The colors gleamed in the sunlight like gems in a treasure chest. The squirrel peeked out, holding a pink crayon. He gave a tiny nod and got back to scribbling. From then on, the little explorers visited the squirrel every week. Sometimes he drew trees, Sometimes he drew stars. Once, he even drew a picture of 3 kids and 1 squirrel, all holding crayons. No more crayons went missing. Well, maybe just 1 or 2, but now they didn't mind. Mystery solved, Mira said one sunny afternoon. And case closed, added Zane. For now, said Lila. Until the next mystery? They bumped fists.
Time to solve a mystery. The Explorer's Way.
Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.